What's up, losers? Hello and welcome. It is 9:30. It is the 7th day of June 2021. It is cold. It is foggy. Today's drink is orange juice. Support me, Florida, because I need a sponsor and I've never been to Disney World. So it's Monday, which means it's time for the weekly gaming news. What's going on in the world of gaming that is not 5th edition? Because I'm sure there's something. But let's start with the stuff. Yesterday we announced that Wizards of the Coast, whether on purpose or by accident, had posted the placeholders on Amazon for the next 2 products. We knew 2 products were coming up before the year was over. We didn't know what they were. We assumed one of the 2 was going to be a Magic the Gathering set, maybe both, but definitely one. They had said we were going to revisit 2 more classic settings after Ravenloft. We don't know what the other 2 classic settings are. If I was a betting man, I'd bet Spelljammer and Dragonlance, but I could be wrong, since Ravenloft came as a surprise after they said they were never going to revisit old settings. So the announcement was there's a adventure setting book about the Feywild, which I guess is the world of fairy for D&D Forgotten Realms. Think Tatiana, Oberon, Midsummer Night's Dream. You with Ben Winkle, you go to sleep for a day and it turns out 10 years have passed. I was curious as to why. But then somebody said, well, they were playtesting fairy races on Unearthed Arcana, so this is why. And you're playtesting new races to see if they work. You're always trying to change the whatever, I guess that. I still don't really see the leap between let's experiment with 1 or 2 new races and a whole adventure setting about something, and then claiming this is the first time 5th edition has ever visited this when, we had fairy pack warlocks from, I don't know. I'm sure it makes sense to them, and it'll sell, so whatever. The other one shouldn't come as any surprise was, of course, a Magic the Gathering setting, which was Strixhaven. Strixhaven was the most recent Magic the Gathering setting. It was basically a magic school that sort of was, but wasn't in the Forgotten Realms, because as we know, Magic and the Forgotten and D&D are slowly becoming one and the same. So think Harry Potter, Magic, D&D, blah. It's a very colorful set. It's definitely geared towards kids. A lot of people are surprised, though, that they went Strixhaven. They thought that they were going to do the Viking setting because they had already done the Greek one with Theros, the Viking one being Kaldasha or Phildasha. I don't know. I know there was a Viking setting. The Greek with Theros, Viking Norse with the whatever. Somebody had the Hammer of Thor, whatever. And not Strixhaven. Strixhaven was sort of like a surprise, but I wasn't surprised. I figured that. I mean, when the first second I saw Strixhaven, I was like, yeah, that's going to be the next D&D setting. It just screams D&D. Okay. So, there was a picture posted of the potential cover. And on the bottom of the cover, this is of the Feywild one, not the Strixhaven one, there was the Fantasy Grounds logo. And apparently that picture was not supposed to go out. So there is a lot of saber rattling from Wizards of the Coast, or like, hey, you weren't supposed to release that picture. That picture was for Fantasy Grounds only. It wasn't supposed to be the picture that went online. We had a different picture, blah, 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 blah. Angry. But look, the picture's getting pressed, so really how angry can we be? So anyways, they're angry because the picture that we saw yesterday is not the picture that they were supposed to see. People were like angry at me saying, well, I can't find this picture. What do you mean? Where's this picture? And I'm like, right there. Here's the link. Here's the picture. But then I guess it got taken down. Whatever. Okay, so 2 new Magic settings. Feywild, Adventure, Pixies. That'll be the one they're probably going to play in July over the 2-3 day live stream G4 thing. And Strixhaven Magic setting. Magic School, though I think most of the D&D Magic crowd wanted it to be the Viking one. Kaldasha, I think is what it's called. What else is going on in the world? Okay. In other D&D news, The Awful Cheerful Engine is still going on Kickstarter and complete with a new preview space opera setting. Beam me up! We have 10 new spells to bring a bit more witchiness into 5e, designed by the people over at EN. EN is still playtesting, previewing their Level Up 5e game with another set of stuff putting on. At this point, I will never have to buy this game because you put everything up on the internet for free. We have... And of course, Critical Role Mighty 9 came to an end on Thursday. I did a whole separate vlog on that and got into some trouble. I got 13 thumbs downs because how dare I talk about stuff that I read and other people just said. My favorite, of course, was, well, he's complaining about the 7-hour thing, but the only way he would know is because he watched it, so really what's he's complaining? It's like, no, I literally said at the beginning of that vlog, you mark, that I was reading the posts. But okay, you do you. All right, Pazio Con Online is over, and it's now time to wade through the flurry of new product announcements for Pathfinder and Starfinder. So, the Pazio Con Online was last week. We have, coming from them, from Paizo, we have a Galaxy Exploration Manual for Starfinder, new Starfinder races, Starfinder Classics, Starfinder spaceship stuff, fantasy spaceship stuff. We have Tech Rush Evolutions coming out, a source book for tech in Starfinder. And then we have a new adventure coming out called Planetfall, and which will be a one-shot adventure. And then there's something called Junker's Delight coming out, which will be players dealing with scavengers of a massive junk field. And then we have Liberations of the Locust, which sends players to a research station. I guess that's the beginning of the next Starfinder adventure path. For Pathfinder, we have coming out Secrets of Magic, which adds hundreds of new spells and magic items and new classes. 256 pages of Pathfinder 2nd Edition stuff. We also have Guns and Gears coming out, which adds adventurers and steampunky stuff to Pathfinder. And we have Book of the Dead coming out. Undead enemies and player characters with information on the undead nation of Geb and the devastated Gravelands coming out for Pathfinder. We also have 3 new Lost Omens guides, the Mwangi Expanse, the Grand Bazaar, and Abaslan, City of Lost Omens, all coming out before the end of 2021 for Pathfinder 2nd Edition. And we have the beginning of the new adventure path called Strength of Thousands, which, strangely enough, is focused on a Magic Academy. Wow! D&D's doing a Magic Academy-based book, and so Pathfinder's doing a Magic Gathering-based adventure path. It's also the 10th anniversary of Kingmaker, which is my favorite Pathfinder adventure path. Wizards of the Coast has announced a new tool for Dungeon Masters, the D&D Dungeon Master Screen Dungeons Kit. So this one's cool because not only does it come with just the normal D&D screen, it comes with some scratch pads, it comes with initiative cards, it comes with condition cards, it comes with some cut and paste dungeon geomorphs, it comes with all types of different little props that you could use to make your game work better. So if, like, that player over there gets paralyzed, you can hand them the paralyzed card, and they know exactly on the card how long they've been paralyzed and what they can and cannot do while paralyzed and stuff like that. Yeah, I like this. I mean, it's a D&D product, but I like the fact that it's giving lots of actually useful tools. Okay, we have more news coming out for the Dungeons & Dragons live-action film, where they interviewed Regé Jane Page was interviewed recently about the Dungeons & Justice film. Then he talked about he doesn't really know much about the Dungeons & Dragons. He's more of a second generation. He's listened to some podcasts, but this is his first introduction to playing and knowing anything about D&D. But if you saw that show on Netflix, he was great as the Duke. So, yeah. Drive-Thru RPG has announced an upcoming increase in cost of premium color print-on-demand books because they've switched printing technology, so it's going to be more expensive, but hopefully the print-on-demand books will be in better shape. The Dune role-playing game came out. We have the free Kickstarter adventure for the dungeon, for Dune Adventures of the Imperium role-playing game, and the actual game is out and has already been reviewed by Grim Jim and some other people. I will post a link down below. Geek Native noticed that the terms of service for Heroes Forge 3D has a few terms included for who owns the rights to the miniatures you create. Okay, this is interesting. This states, this says that somebody just first noticed this for the first time, that the terms of service basically say that Hero Forge retains all ownership rights, titles, and interest in the 3D models, and that they may only be used for personal, non-commercial use. So right out of the gate, for clarification, no, this does not mean Hero Forge owns the characters you create minis for, but they own the design of the miniature itself. The same way that Hasbro doesn't own Star Wars, but does own the rights to the design of the action figures. So, what does this mean? This means if you design a character on Hero Forge and then make 10 copies and then try and resell 9 of those copies to someone else, you can't, because they own the ownership rights, title, interest to the 3D for commercial stuff. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm wrong. This says that you can buy and resell physical miniatures you purchase from Hero Forge to use or use them in giveaways, but you cannot take the file and print your own miniatures to sell. Okay. All right. Sorry. Okay, I read this again. I'm wrong. Backtrack. Let's restart. So, you can buy multiple copies from them of the same figure and give it away as a gift or sell it, but you cannot download the file, print your own miniatures, and sell it. Okay. Does that make sense to anybody else? Because I'm still a little confused, but whatever. And finally, what's up with Humble Bumble this week? Humble Bumble has, as we know, teamed up with Free League Publishing to do a Tales from the Loop and Symbonium bundle. We have stuff for Tales from the Loop, Things from the Flood, Symbonium, and other Free League stuff. This is to benefit a charity of your choice. We also have the Pathfinder 2nd Edition Humble Bumble is still available, $400 worth of books for Pathfinder 2nd Edition, and that benefits the Stop the Hate campaign. In other news, because I'm sure there's other stuff going on in the world besides that, we already mentioned earlier this week that Marvel has announced that they are going to release a Marvel Multiverse tabletop role-playing game. Play tests starting in 2022. Actual game to be released in 2023. That's a long time between now and 2022, so things could change. The actual cover for the Feywild book has been revealed and is available to see. The cover, as I mentioned earlier, the cover we saw was not the cover that they were supposed to see. The actual cover is slightly different, but still it features pretty much the same thing, the spooky circus, steampunky kind of. I don't really understand what steampunk and circuses have to do with pixies, but whatever. And they also announced that there will be an accessory kit to come with the Feywild. Amazon.com D&D Wild Beyond the Witchlight, a Feywild Adventure accessory kit will also be available. I don't know what this could have in it. I guess, figures and whatever, maps, thingies. And we have some cosplayers doing a video featuring characters from the Witchlight. So we got some, e-girls dressed up like pixies dancing around and talking about the product. And, okay. That seems to be it. Obviously, the number one story is the 2 new products from Wizards of the Coast. The and Critical Role 99 coming to an end, and how it might affect the future of things. And the big one, of course, being the mess up with the cover for Feywild, because that wasn't supposed to go out. That was an accident. But there's no such thing as bad press, so as long as it brings attention to Wizards of the Coast, win then. Support me, Orange Juice. I am your grumpy guide to all things gaming. If you appreciate this content, comment down below. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Help me hit 500 subs by August 4th, and we'll do something crazy. Till next time. Like, share, subscribe, comment, support, blah, 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 Critical Role, blah, blah, yakety smack, get off my lawn. Critical Role.